didn't turn your camera on yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to be turning on my camera today.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to turn on your camera because it is required for all of our meetings.
I'm not comfortable turning on the camera for today's call. And actually, in our onboarding meeting that we had, you said that it's not necessary to turn on the camera.
That can't be true because we can't proceed with any meetings without you turning your camera on.
I actually have a transcript from that call, and it says, like, for a fact, that we don't have to turn on the camera. I could forward the transcript over to HR if needed so we can make sure that we're aligned, but I use the Summary AI app, and the transcript is all there.
Okay.
Yo, immediately back into the office, 5 days a week, and she would just absolutely be on the chopping block. Every single thing that she did, we would be documenting it. We would be documenting every conversation. She would then go into a PIP, a performance improvement plan, and then we would make sure that she executes and she does exactly what she needs to do on her job. This is what I'm talking about when I say that people make things difficult and they not a cultural fit. When a lot of y'all get on these applications because we don't really get to see behind the scenes and we don't really get to see the context, we just take your word for it. We assume that you're a decent worker, that you're a decent human being, that you are, doing your job. And so y'all get on these apps and y'all complain and y'all say, oh my God, my manager is against me. It's racism. It's because I'm black and brown. It's whatever, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. When in reality, you are an a-hole. You're an a-hole. And you make it difficult for other people, and then you create the stereotypes, and this is the thing that people vet for. When they're going through the interview process, it's not about your technical expertise. We can figure that out immediately. Like, when you hiring somebody, you pretty much know just from even having a conversation within the first 5-6 minutes of whether they know exactly what to do and if they're good at their job. The thing that you're really vetting for when you go through the interview process, and the reason why people bring people in and they don't, I suggest that all interviews should be in person, even if you're going to be working remotely, because you need to be able to see the person, you need to experience them, you need to see how they react to certain things, what their attitude is, disposition, and people think that they can code switch and sell you on an image, but it's much more difficult for you to do that in person than it is online and stuff like that, and resumes don't tell the full story. So when you kicking it with these type of people, what they're vetting for is to try to figure out if they are an a-hole or not, or if they're going to be a cultural fit, or if they're going to be a tattletale, or if they're going to be an issue, if they're going to make it problematic for other people, and if they're not going to just do their job and then leave it all on the floor. This is what you look for. This type of behavior specifically. And so this woman is a very, very, very difficult woman to work with. And of course, I know that there's going to be some people inside of the chat that say, oh my God, no, well, they shouldn't have said it or whatever, so on and so forth. Like, you got to be able to read between the lines. You got to understand the context. You got to be able to read the room. And so if you can't do that, you will not be successful in your corporate life. Now, I'm assuming that this woman is not even interested in trying to move up the ladder, because ain't no way in the world that they would recommend for this woman to move up the ladder. And also, this type of thing generally only happens with women or very feminine men. Hear me clearly. This type of behavior usually only happens with women or very feminine men, and they cannot get it together. They are so difficult to work with. They are very technical. They're using every single detail, and they will try to ruin the culture. And if you don't nip this in the bud immediately, then it is going to be very hard to get them up out of there. So the first thing that I would personally do is, it wouldn't be no more working from home. It wouldn't be no more sitting under the covers. It wouldn't be no more comfort of your bedroom, any of that type of stuff. And it's a strong possibility that if they were to ever to ask, in the event that they letting people go, or in the event of a layoff, who do you keep? Who do you let go? She would be one of the first people to be let go. The problem with these type of people is that they usually just continue to go from job to job, or they'll usually find some other form of employment until those employers actually figure them out too, and then they got to try to go through the process of letting them go again. So that is why these type of people are difficult to hire, difficult to let go. Then you got to go through a whole process of being able to let them go, unless you work in a type of state where it's a truly right to work state and you can just let them go for any reason. But then you don't want to deal with any kind of lawsuit, so you just got to kind of go through the process. But absolutely, this woman is I couldn't do it, bro.
I told myself I would start documenting my life more, and that includes things that kind of suck, because I think that looking back on it, I'll be able to take a lot away from it. I'll be able to learn a lot about it and from it. But I was fired today. I was let go from the firm. I think I was just kind of hoping that if I did a really good job while I was there, like, they would overlook when I would come in late. And I think it just got to a point where they were like, you can't keep coming in late. So they let me go. And I've already talked to all my coworkers and everything. And they're very sweet and they're very sad. But ultimately, there's no one to blame but myself. And I think I have a lot of like shame and guilt about it. But everything's a learning experience and everything's gonna be okay. It's just fresh right now. So I feel like I'm a little bit upset and a little less like thinking about the future. I'm just kind of like currently sad. But it was my fault. Like I would show up late. I've been late to work and that's not cool. That's not fair to other people who work there. So now I have more free time. It's 4:00 on a Friday, so I'm at the gym now. So yeah.
That's crazy. So wait a minute. If all of the things, and we appreciate their transparency, right? And I always like to link back to the content creators, so those links will be down in the description. We appreciate the transparency. But what you're telling me, because people are being laid off, people are being let go, there's a segment of people that's saying that they've applied to 100,000 jobs. I don't know how you can effectively apply to 100,000 jobs if you are tweaking your resume for the position that you need, but that's an entirely different conversation because you just mass applying at this point. There's people that really want the positions that you have, and you have a decent job, you got a good job working at a law firm, and the reason why you get let go is because you can't get there on time. You can't set your alarm on time. You can't get up earlier in the morning. You can't ensure that you get to work as a reasonable person. Wow, man, we are so privileged. We are a different type of people. We are entitled. We move a little bit differently. It's a whole nother type of wave out here apparently, and y'all just must be like rolling in the dough. You must just have a whole lot of money stacked up and saved up. But again, the one thing that I will say about this video is that she was honest and transparent about the fact that it was her fault. And she didn't blame anybody for it. She didn't say it was, that I didn't deserve it or something like that. And so if you knew that you could just try to do a good enough job in order to circumvent the problem that you was creating as far as getting there later, then why not just change the behavior? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments, family.